my name is Becca, and welcome to another update for the OWLS Magical Readathon. It's the end of week 3, and I believe this will be the last update that you will see from me before the wrap-up. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I have a pretty sore throat, so I'm drinking hot chocolate to try and help my throat. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I believe this will be the last update you will see from me before the wrap-up, just because I'm on the last stretch. I only have the books that I'm currently reading are the last books for the readathon, so yeah, the next video for this readathon will be the wrap-up. Okay, so the last couple weeks haven't been the greatest. I want to say I had only read the last 2 weeks was 3 books for the readathon, and that was out of 12. That was pretty awful for me. Like, for other people it would be, you know, great. Like, some people don't even read 3 books in a month, and that's fine. But for me, I try to read double digits. I try, because I just can't. I'm a little bit of a faster reader. I also use a lot more of the formats. I don't just read physically. I listen to audiobooks and I read on my phone. So it helps me read faster, and I also read anywhere I go. So if I go to a friend's house, I bring a book. If I go to work, I bring a book. It doesn't matter. I bring a book everywhere I go. So that's how I can read faster. So I just try to make it into double digits. Sometimes it doesn't happen, but I try. So for this readathon, I need to read 12 books, and I had only read for the last couple of weeks 3. It was pretty bad, but I kind of went and read 5, or at least finished 5 this week. Yeah, I finished Sabriel by Garth Nix. This was originally going to be for potions, because it features alchemy, but I decided to switch it and make it for ancient runes because there's a symbol on the cover, and I couldn't get to Scythe. So Scythe and Uprooted, if you have seen my TBR, those were extra books, technically. I know Eldest was supposed to be an extra book, so I switched Eldest and Uprooted. That's just how it worked. So I haven't, and I'm not going to, get to Uprooted or Scythe. But I'm still going to be able to hit every challenge, so that's what matters. So yeah, I switched it for this. I didn't care for it as much. This is really just about a girl named Sabriel, who is the daughter of the Abortion, who is a necromancer, and who instead of bringing the dead back to life stops the dead from coming. So anytime it sees the dead coming to destroy whatever it's in its path, the Abortion destroys it. Destroys the dead. So, yeah. Sabriel's father, the Abortion, has gone missing, so Sabriel has to go and find her father. There's also this big plot involving the dead and the royal family. There's that too. I didn't care for it. I tried to. I really wanted to. A lot of people seem to have loved it. I just didn't. I didn't care for the main character, Sabriel. I felt like I was really distanced from this book. Like, I could not connect with anything that was happening. I understood what was happening, but I couldn't connect with it. And even the talking cat, who I was like, oh look, there's a talking cat, I gotta love this book, didn't really care for it. There was just a lot of confusion within this book. And I tried to love it. I really did. I finished it, at least. You know, I didn't DNF it. I really didn't want to DNF it. So I plowed through it. I at least had the ebook on my phone. Script has both the ebook as well as the audiobook. I did not listen to the audiobook. I don't think that would have helped at all. So I didn't listen to the audiobook for it, but I did read the ebook, and it made it go by a little faster, so that was pretty good. But yeah, there's insta-love in this as well, and I really didn't like that. I'll talk more about it in my wrap-up, but I gave this 2 stars. Then I read Fullmetal Alchemist, the first omnibus. This is volumes 1, 2, and 3. This is the 3-in-1, and it's the manga. It's if you've seen the anime, it's the same thing. I love the anime, though now this made me want to pick up Brotherhood and actually start watching it, even though it was on my list of anime to watch this year. I had never actually picked it up. I just wasn't in the mood, and then after reading this, I was really in the mood, so started watching it. I'm really loving that for this book. I don't really know if I have to go into detail what this is, but it is about these two boys. They're the Elric brothers, Edward and Alphonse. When they were young, they tried to use alchemy to bring their mother back to life, but what they didn't know is that you needed equivalent exchange to do that. And so Alphonse lost his body and Edward lost his leg, and so he wanted to bring his brother back, but he could only bind his soul to the suit of armor that you see, and he lost his arm in doing that. They're just like on the hunt for what is called the Philosopher's Stone, so they can try and get their bodies back. It's really, I mean, all you really need to know about it. There's a lot more, but I don't really want to go into any spoilers or anything. I love the manga, I love the anime, though I did feel like... See, I've seen the original anime, it's been years, but I do remember some of it, and I wanted to see Brotherhood, and I don't know if I would really need to read the manga to watch Brotherhood. I don't believe Brotherhood leaves off where, you know, before. There are some anime that leave off like smack dab in the middle of the manga. Like they just that's the end of the anime. So the manga continues on after that because it's still going. It's still ongoing. But I do believe that Brotherhood finishes maybe where the manga finishes. I'm not entirely sure. But if I do find out that the manga still continues on where the anime leaves off, I'm going to pick up more of the manga, but I don't believe I really need to now, since I'm watching the anime. I do really love the anime, and I did really love this, and I give this 4 stars. And this was for Potions, which features alchemy, because they're called the Fullmetal Alchemist. Okay. Next up, I finished Dragon Rider by Cornelia Funk. This, Cornelia Funk is the author of Inkheart, and this is just a middle grade dragon novel. It's about a dragon, a boy, and this cat-like creature called a brownie who go on this quest to find the Rim of Heaven, which is basically where dragons used to live before this evil dragon called Nettlebrand pretty much how do I say it? He's a dragon that tries to eat other dragons, and so the dragons had to flee and go somewhere else, and Firedrake, this dragon, lives in a nest where those other dragons are. And I really enjoyed this. I thought this was nice and cute and sweet. I really loved the boy, Ben, and I really loved, he's an orphan boy, so some good things happened for him, which is what I really loved. And I really loved that, you know, Firedrake and Sorrel, which is the brownie-like creature, they kind of take him in, and I really love that. Even though Sorrel is not my favorite. I do not like Sorrel at all. I just didn't care for her. I do love Firedrake and Ben though, and there's some other characters I really loved in here, and I gave this, I want to say 3.5 stars. I did enjoy it. I didn't love it. I love it, but I did really enjoy it while I was reading it. I also finished Heart of Iron by Ashley Paulson. This is a Anastasia retelling set in space. This is a sci-fi retelling of Anastasia. It's really all you need to know about it. There is some queer characters in here, which I absolutely loved. I thought that was amazing, and I did not see that coming. I thought this was a standalone, though. For some reason, I don't know why, I thought this was a standalone. It's not, and it leaves on this, like, kind of huge cliffhanger. and now I really need the next book. I did really enjoy it. I enjoyed a lot of the characters in here. I enjoyed the queer romance as well as the romance between Anna and Di. I'm not going to tell you who Di is because it's kind of weird, but I kind of liked it. And I'm not going to tell you who Di is, so if you go into this book you're going to find out. But I was thrown, and it was pretty good. I've never seen a romance between those two types of characters before. Trying to be vague here. I don't know if it's working. But yeah, I really enjoyed the cast of characters. The villain in this is pretty bad. I will say it gets an A for villainy because I really wanted the villain to die. And there's like kind of multiple villains, so yeah. But I give this 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I'm hoping, just hoping that the sequel comes soon. Which I know it comes early next year, but I'm still hoping, beyond hope, it comes soon. Alright. Lastly, I finally finished Eldest by Christopher Paolini. This is exactly what I thought I was going to get. I really enjoyed the beginning, and I really enjoyed the ending. The middle was just really rough to get into. With this and Dragon Rider and Sabriel, I read these 3 books like for a week and a half. I was trying to only read like 50 pages a day. This one though, I think 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, though there were moments I stopped. There were days where I just didn't pick this up whatsoever. I just wasn't in the mood for it, so I didn't do it. But I did enjoy it. I gave it 3 stars. What can I say? I knew I wasn't going to love this. I did really enjoy Aragon, and I think I gave that like 4 or 5 stars actually. I'm not entirely sure, but I think I might have given it that high. But I knew this one was going to be tough to get through because there are characters I don't care about in here, and you get some of their perspectives, and I'm just like, can I just get back to Aragon? Because I can't stand you. And then of course they all meet up later, and it's like, okay, finally I don't care if they're in here because at least I got who I really care about. There are moments though where Aragon kind of drags, and I just like, there are moments where I skimmed, I'm not gonna lie. I just couldn't get through it. But hey, it didn't take me a whole year to get through this time, which it did when I started reading this in high school. A whole year. Only 2.5 weeks this time, so that's pretty good. And I gave this only 3 stars. Oh, okay, wait. I don't think alright, we're gonna go through this again. Alright, so this is for Ancient Ruins. Sabriel's for Ancient Ruins. This is for Potions. This one was for Care of Magical Creatures. And this one was for... Where are you? Astronomy, because it's sci-fi. And then this is for the Owl for Charms. Because just to read a fantasy novel, and so I just figured since I had to read this anyway. Okay, so for the books that I'm currently reading, the last 4 books for this readathon, I am currently listening to Talking as Fast as I Can, from Gilmore Girls to Gilmore Girls and everything in between, by Lauren Graham, Lorelai Gilmore from it's having a hard time talking. Lorelai Gilmore from Gilmore Girls, obviously. And this also comes with a bonus chapter I did not know. But I started listening to the audiobook actually a while ago, and then this is before I picked up the book. Figured I could just plow through the audiobook and finish that. But then it kept talking about pictures. And I was like, well, I need to know about these pictures. And to be honest, I'm not really caring for the audiobook. I'm just trying to get through this kind of fast. The book is kind of interesting, but Lauren Graham narrates the audiobook, and for some reason, I don't necessarily like it. I thought I would, because I love Lorelai Gilmore, and I love Lauren Graham, but I don't necessarily like her narration for her own book. But I am going to get through this. It's only a 4-hour audiobook, and I only have 3 hours left to go, which I kind of listened to it at 1.8 speed instead of 2. I think 2 is too fast and 1.5 is too slow. So I listened to it at 1.8, and I think I can get to this pretty quick. Sorry if you can hear the horns. Shut up. Okay. Next up, I am currently reading Serafina by Rachel Hartman. Don't have the dust jackets over there. This is the one I carry with me to work and back. I am 95 pages in. This one I'm also trying to read like 50 pages a day. So, actually, for the last of these, I'm trying to read 50 pages. This is the one I'm just listening to the audiobook, so I don't really care how much I read of it. Just to work and back or anywhere else I go, I will be listening to the audiobook for it. But these, I'm just trying to read like 50 pages a day. Hopefully, I will be finishing this within the week. If I have to, I will maybe read a little bit more of it. But, yeah. So, yeah. Serafina by Rachel Hartman. I'm 95 pages in. It's pretty good so far. Tiger's Curse by Colleen Hoke. I remember reading this for the first time. Oh, this is also a reread, by the way. Yeah, so this is a reread. I remember reading this first a long time ago. I think 2012, so it's been, what, 6 years? Oh, it's a long time. And I gave this 5 stars. And I can see why I did, but now that I've read so much of what I have, I can see that this isn't the greatest book. It's still entertaining, but it's not the greatest book. I'm 96 pages into this, by the way. So, I don't know if I'll necessarily give it 5 stars again. I do remember why I never continued on. No, that's not true. I did read Tiger's Quest after this, which is the second book. These are the last books. Though, there was another book to come out. That annoyed me. And it's not out in paperback. I can only get the ebook copy of it. What's going on? Not happy about that. But, let's see. I did read the sequel, and I didn't like the sequel at all. At all. So, we'll see how this goes. I might end up just reading this and not picking up the rest of the books. I think I'm going to try, but we'll see. And then lastly, I'm reading Forest of a Thousand Lanterns by Julie C. Dow. I am 97 pages in. I do still need to read my 50 pages for the day, so I'll try and be like around 150 for each of these. So yeah. Yeah, this is a East Asian inspired retelling of the evil queen from Snow White. At least that's what I believe. Yeah. It's pretty good. I'm enjoying it. Yeah. So wait, this was for herbology. Read a book that features like a nature kind of word in the title, so forest. Tiger's Quest is for divination, features prophecies, which, if I remember correctly, it does, and I looked it up on Google and it said it did. Serafina was for transfiguration, because the dragons can take human form, and it's shape-shifting, so we're going with it. And Talking as Fast as I Can is for Mongol Studies, which read a non-fiction book, so that works. Let's see. And then the last, of course, the other ones that I have completed, my other OWLS I've completed, are, let's see, Arithmancy for Seven Husbands of Hugo, Defense Against the Dark Arts for My Plain Jane, and History of Magic. I read historical fiction, so Do You Want to Start a Scandal worked for that by Tessa Dare. Okay, so that's all I have to that's it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you next week, hopefully with my wrap-up. Bye. Happy reading.